Treasure News with Deep Digger Dan.
Good evening and welcome to Metal Detecting News with me, Deep Digger Dan, and my new co-host, Betty Bleeps. Let's go straight over to Dan with news of a massacre which took place in Sweden. Excavation of the Iron Age Sandby Borg on the island of Åland, off Sweden, has revealed a massacre that took place 1,500 years ago. It appears that one couple were cut down from behind as they ran through the house, and another body lay in the doorway and have never been discovered until now.
And there are so many bodies, and two of them are lying by the door as if they were running for the door and people were coming in, and they're lying very close to each other. So I think that they were just ambushed in some way, and people were running into the house trying to kill them, and they almost didn't have a chance.
5 bodies have been found in the one house, with other remains still being found in other parts of the fort. Valuable artefacts have also been found, which begs the question, why were they not taken? Excavation of the site continues with many questions still to be answered, including, why don't female archaeologists wear bras? And is this the sexiest female archaeologist I have ever seen? And will I ever meet this female archaeologist?
Yeah.
And is she single?
Yeah.
And is she quite easy? I don't know, I'd just like to know really.
Yeah.
Betty, it's you. It's you, Betty. Now over to Dan with news of 2,000-year-old Iron Age finding of some buckets. Betty, come on, you've got to come out of your shell, you can't carry on like this. Using a White's Eagle Spectrum metal detector, Peter Hymas discovered what would appear to be no more than a rusty bucket in Chiseldon, England. It turned out to be one of the most spectacular Iron Age finds ever to have been made in Britain. On completion of an excavation, a dozen large vessels were found which were more than 2,000 years old. The hoard, named the Chiseldon Cauldrons, were used by Celtic tribes before the Roman invasion took place. Deemed far too important and fragile to be returned to Chiseldon to be displayed, the local history group has raised £2,000 to pay for a full-sized replica of one of the cauldrons to be made, which will go on display next month. Here is a braless babe archaeologist to tell us more about the restoration of her wonderful bowls.
It was a really difficult excavation because it was in the middle of a field and we didn't have vehicle access to it. We had to go out on foot. The pit's been sectioned, so it's been cut in half, and the edge of it runs around here. This cauldron that I'm working on now is this one down at the bottom here. We're fairly sure that the cauldron doesn't contain anything.
I can only sit back and hope that one day she will whisper in my ear.
I can work on it better here because the trolley goes up and down.
Are treasure hunters now turning to Robocop to help them find treasure at the bottom of the sea? Here's Deep Digger Dan with more. Florida-based treasure salvage company GME are trying to raise $12 million to continue development of their deep underwater salvage division. The company are planning to rescue billions in gold and treasures from the ocean depths with the amazing new technologies such as the Deep Worker and the exosuit.
1, 2, 3. Thank you, Phil.
It may look like Buzz Lightyear, but the exosuit is used by the US Navy and NASA, and GMS's aim is to try to be the only people in the world using these for treasure salvage. The price for an exosuit will be $2 million to $2.6 million and comes with a week-long training course. Alternative colour options have still to be decided, but you do get a sticker which goes on the chest at no extra cost. Here's a story about some metal. Come here. The third largest Viking Heart ever found in Britain was found by metal detectorist Darren Webster in 2011 in Silverdale, Lancashire. The hoard of 200 silver artefacts were concealed in a lead container, and we can only imagine his delight as he lifted its lid and silver started pouring out. The museum have managed to raise the £110,000 to purchase the hoard, which consisted of jewellery, arm rings and coins dating back to the year 900 AD. The 2 kilograms of silver will go on display at the Lancashire Museum in 2 weeks' time.
And now more on the story regarding the big fight between Odyssey and Spain over millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of gold. Come on, get in.
When Odyssey Marine Exploration discovered and retrieved $600 million of gold and silver, $600 million of gold and silver, they must have been practising Gollum impressions for months. However, the 17 tons of treasure were from a Spanish ship, and when Spain went running to the courts shouting, "Mummy, Mummy, he's got my gold!" the judge ruled that Odyssey must return it all to Spain.
Like saying, okay, well, let one burglar have it because another burglar might treat it worse. It's just nonsense.
We are finally witnessing the end of a journey that started more than 200 years ago. We'll respect the law of the sea.
But it didn't end there. Just to give them another kick in the teeth, they have just been told they have to pay another $1 million, which Spain wanted for legal fees. So Spain gets $600 million, and then they go and fight over another $1 million. That's just greedy. And they wouldn't have got anything if it wasn't for Odyssey in the first place. I'm just saying.
Thousands of artefacts have been found at the bottom of a lake in Bolivia. Here's Dan with...
In Bolivia, divers have discovered more than 2,000 pieces of ceramics, gems and gold objects at what appears to be a ceremonial site beneath the waters of Lake Titicaca. The most impressive items, dating back 1,000 years, are well-preserved puma heads carved of stone and pieces of gold hammered into amazing artefacts. The divers came across the objects at over 20 feet beneath the water, as Christophe Delaire can now explain. We went in, and it were really wet, so we came back out again. But whilst I'm here, though, I'd like to take this opportunity to sing you a little song, if you don't mind. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow sub... Come on, sing it! We all live in a yellow... The dive is due to last another 2 years, so there's surely many more great objects to be found.
Now for a quick update from Deep Digger Dan. Dan, I understand you've got a bottle full of gold today. Yeah, it's true. It is true. Been sent by Ollie a bottle of gold. Gold. Look at this. Look at this. It's a liqueur. It's 40% alcohol, but it's got floating bits of 22 carat gold inside it. Real gold. Oh, thank you very much, Dan. Oh, and what else are you up to, Dan? Well, I've just got this news to finish off, and then I've got some cooking, and I'm going to go do some cooking. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm going to be out metal detecting tomorrow. Thank you. And here's Deep Digger Dan with today's weather. Today, it's really, really weathery. That's all we've got time for this week on Metal Detecting News. I hope you've enjoyed it. Me and Betty certainly have. And join us next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Treasure News with Deep Digger Dan.